Now, I don't want to be too political or anything, but do you really believe that all Canadian provinces are created equal? Now, let's face it, some provinces are more glamorous than others. British Columbia has the Pacific and the coastal mountains. Alberta has the Rocky Mountains. Nova Scotia's got Cape Breton. PEI, they have the sandy beaches. What about New Brunswick? What do you know about New Brunswick? Now, to be fair, they have the great scenery, they have the Acadian coastline and the river valleys and the Bay of Fundy. But the problem is we hardly know anything about New Brunswick. Well, there is one man who's doing everything he can to straighten out our collective ignorance. Let's call him the New Brunswick Apostle. In Calgary, I learned how separate and ignorant Canadians are of each other.
Well, what do you know about New Brunswick? And what do you know about New Brunswick?
Nothing.
There is a serious Canadian problem, but one man is coming to the rescue.
You just saw the bear legend.
His name, Peter Clark. He's a New Brunswick writer who has decided to visit schools from coast to coast. He's a man with a vision.
My vision was to go across Canada from St. John's, Newfoundland to Victoria, British Columbia and share with other provinces some of our New Brunswick heritage and some of our stories. I loved that time. That was one of my favorite times.
4 years, he's traveled around New Brunswick collecting folk stories and compiling them in a series of books. Peter's mission is driven by his love for his province.
Oh, I don't collect money for any specific cause. What I do is that I actively keep the stories from days gone by alive, and I share them with the children, adults, and seniors.
On his tour, he celebrates New Brunswickers who, in their own way, have made their mark on the world. Like Willie O'Ree, the first black man to play in the NHL.
And it's a story from this book, and it comes from Fredericton, New Brunswick. And it was on January the 18th, 1958, playing for Boston Bruins against the Montreal Canadiens in the Montreal Forum, that he made world history.
Do you know the Bear Man?
This one has the story of the Bear Man in it. We don't have... Do you want to hear that one?
I have another question for you. Who is the Bear Man?
The Bear Man is supposed to be one of the most remarkable freaks of nature known to exist in mankind, and there he is. He comes from a place called Ironbound Cove near Chipman, New Brunswick, and thousands of people walk by him in one day just to get a glimpse of what he looked like. Just look, you don't have to gasp or anything, just look. That's the Bear Man there. We have lots of strange tales in New Brunswick.
Like you? No.
Yes, like me.
So, why did Peter Clark, with his wife Sylvie, take on this educational mission?
Culture is extremely important, I think, in the fact that people should know where their roots are. People should know a little bit about the background, their mothers, their fathers, their grandfathers, their grandmothers that I could ever have received.
Peter is not just a writer, he's a great storyteller.
How many people here believe in ghosts?
I do.
Just put your hand up. Okay.
Here, he's telling a story about a ghost who hunts campers and hunters in New Brunswick. New Brunswick folklore is full of ghost stories.
Woken up the dead. Oh my God. I thought, without turning around.
Peter Clark helps young Canadians discover New Brunswick, but his mission also takes him to bookstores along his route. He also helps nostalgic ex-New Brunswickers to rediscover their roots.
It's nostalgia. It brings back memories of the stories that my father told me when I was a youngster.
You're from Fredericton, yes. So my mom still lives there, and one of my brothers.
What's your last name? Squibb. Yeah, okay, that's I've heard the name.
He speaks very warmly of people that I knew and situations that I knew and locations that I'm familiar with. So it kind of revived a lot of old-time memories.
The best camp in New Brunswick as we fight for victory. Hurrah, hurrah, hurrah soon.
On behalf of all the kids in that senior Doyle school, we would like to thank you for coming.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Has Agent Clark completed his mission?
What do you know about New Brunswick?
It's one of the Atlantic provinces. People can fish for a living. There are lots of ghosts. I think that there's lots of really good stories in New Brunswick.
There it is, another mission accomplished for our special agent from New Brunswick.